Able to serve with my father, who was a 38-year veteran, served in World War II, taken prisoner at Anzio Beach, came home, served again in Korea. He was my top toad, as they call him. He was my first sergeant. And before he passed away here a few years ago, you know, I talked to him about that honor to have his kid be able to serve with him. Married my high school sweetheart. She's way in the back. In July, we'll have been married 40 years. Can you imagine? She deserves something, doesn't she? I think 40 years. And I must say, standing right beside her, if you haven't met her yet, that's my beautiful daughter, my oldest child, Michelle, back there as well. So anyway, we have 2 children, 5 grandchildren, which is great. After high school, I went into law enforcement. I served on the Morristown, Minnesota Police Department, the Jackson, Minnesota Police Department, finished my career back in Albert Lea, Minnesota on the Freeborn County Sheriff's Department. I've been in radio pretty much all of my life. Voice of Agriculture, news. I started at Cape Radio. I used to own a station in Austin, Minnesota, and then finished my career in radio, managing 10 radio stations over in Mankato, Minnesota. We also own a small Godfather's Pizza franchise, and folks, anybody in here that's in business, you know how hard it is to keep something like that going with the economy the way it is. But we're doing it. We're making those tough decisions to get things done. Also, I won a state Senate seat. I'm a state senator. I won a special election in January of 2010. Came back in November of 2010, won the general election, so I went from the minority into the majority, and Representative Draskowski's in the House, so I have to be careful on what I say, right, Steve? Good to see you, my friend. So anyway, that's what I've done in my career so far. Right now I still have a small marketing company as well, along with Godfather's Pizza. So people ask me, why am I running? Why am I running for Congress? Well, because politicians like Tim Walz, you know, they've gotten a hold of our credit card, folks. That's what they've gotten a hold of, and they're spending it like there's no credit limit. Right now, we're almost up to $16 trillion that will have to be paid back at some point in time. So with politicians like that in Washington, that's why they have a 9% approval rating. I stand humbly before you today to say I'm going to stand up for the other 91% of us that believe Washington needs a wake-up call, believes our Congress should be held accountable for the mistakes they made, that believes our Congress should have a balanced budget. They should quit the deficit spending, and they should pay down our national debt. Folks, our national debt has increased since Congressman Walz has been in office by over $4.5 trillion. He's voted for Obamacare. He's voted to make the death tax permanent. He's voted for cap and trade. He sides with the EPA. I don't know how many farmers are here, but I'm sure there are quite a few. He likes to think we should be controlling dust in the backside of a combine or coming off gravel roads. He's bad for the 1st Congressional District. He voted against the free trade agreements. Folks, that's a $6 billion export industry in the southern part of this state for agriculture and for the hog industry. Tim Walz is bad. He needs to be replaced. I worry about that. I worry about what our kids are thinking and what that's going to mean to my grandkids, our kids and our grandkids. I think, will they know the America as the shining city on the hill that Ronald Reagan talked about? And by the way, I know pretty well things about Ronald Reagan. Being his secretary was my aunt, and Kathy Davis. And if you ever get the book, What's He Really Like? She wrote that book about Ronald Reagan. Or will our kids know America as that once great nation that was consumed by its appetite for deficit spending? That's what I worry about. That's why I'm running for Congress. Folks, we need a principled candidate with a backbone. With a backbone. One that will stand up to the leaders of both parties and say enough is enough. That's what I can do. And if there's anything in my short senatorial career of 3 sessions that proves that point, is when I stood up to our folks, the governor and the unions, when I tried to tweak our pensions here in the state of Minnesota by 3%. Think about this. If we don't do that in this state, in 10 to 15 years, we'll be faced with a $60 to $80 billion unfunded mandate. So I stood up, tried to tweak that. The threats against the safety of my staff and myself was so strong, the State Patrol put an armed guard outside my office door in the state capitol, your house, and then had to escort me down to my committee room. Why I bring that up is I didn't back down to the union bullies and thugs in St. Paul, and when you send me to Washington, I guarantee you, I won't back down there because I stand for what is right. Folks, we are spending trillions of dollars that we don't have. Most of it being borrowed by from foreign countries, like China, who doesn't much like us anyway. That has to change, and I can do just that. I believe in an America that's in charge of its own destination. I believe in an America where Congress is held responsible for the messes they make. I believe in an America that has a balanced budget that stops their deficit spending and pays down their debt. And most importantly, before I leave, like you, each and every one of you here, I believe in an America where our children and our grandchildren have a better opportunity to succeed than you and I could ever imagine. I'm Mike Parry. I'm asking for your support, your endorsement. I will defeat Tim Walz in November. Thank you for being here today. Have a great day. This is where it starts. Thank you much.